Hey guys, we are exactly 1 week out from the release of our book, No Holds Barred, a dual manifesto of sexual exploration and power written by yours truly, your girl Mandii B, and Weezy WTF. And I wanted to let y'all know you have the chance to meet us, get your book signed, and experience guided conversations with us about this book. And so I'm about to ring off the dates to you guys. Hopefully we're able to see you. So on June 23rd, virtually, we are doing another Talk Shop Live where you can literally join us and ask us anything you'd like about the book while also ordering it. You get a signed version of the copy from our Talk Shop Live event. June 24th at 7 p.m., we are at the Word Bookstore in Brooklyn, New York with a guided conversation. June 25th at 7 p.m., come and get your signatures at Uncle Bobby's. That's right, we are signing your books there. June 26th at 7 p.m., we are at Solid State Books in Washington, D.C., and then join us as well June 27th at 5 p.m. in New Haven Pride Center. That's New Haven, Connecticut. And then June 29th, Atlanta, Georgia, 3 p.m. You can join me and some good friends for a conversation as well as book signing. And LA, Weezy is not leaving you hanging. July 2nd at 7 p.m. She will be at Reparations with Shan Boudram. Really, really, really excited to have you guys join us on this monumental week of our book release, No Holds Barred. Go to our Instagram page, get your tickets, or put it in your calendars to pull up to these bookstores to meet us in person again during the week of our release of No Holds Barred. We cannot wait to see you there. Welcome everybody to another episode of Decisions, Decisions. It's your girl Mandii B, aka that.
It's Weezy. We're having another with somebody from Survival of the Thickest. How does Q have it?
We have actress Jerrie Johnson from Harlem and Survival of the Thickest and a lot more, but I do want to talk about your two roles there because that's what you could sit and watch now. They're both on, one is on Netflix, one is on Hulu.
No, Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Yes. Prime Video.
There we go. Prime Video. Welcome, Jerrie, to the pod. I've been trying to make this happen for a very long time, since last year.
Yes.
Be busy.
Well, no, I met Jerrie through both of our male friends or mutual friends.
Yes.
So we all went out one night after it was Paddle.
Yes.
And so we go to, I don't even remember, some bar, we drinking, and everyone at the table's kind of having their own conversations. And I don't even know who Ish was talking to, but I end up getting into deep talks with this one right here. And I was like, oh my God, I think I love you, but I don't love you because you're a taken woman and I'm going to respect that. But also, we have to bring you onto the show to talk about all things. So I guess before we start, how do you identify? What is your relationship status? And I don't want to say age.
She never asked this, so this is
this is before because I want to get into the character she plays and then all the things. So yeah, identity and relationship status. And if you're a lifestyler, what's the bubble or label if you align with any?
I am the Jerrie Johnson. I identify as a non-binary person, but any respectable pronouns work for me. Queen mostly, you know. I am currently engaged. I am polyamorous, so we are open. And I'm a lot of things. We can get into it.
Oh, can I tell you a few things that I've heard about? So I haven't gotten to watch Harlem or Survival of the Thickest yet, but found this picture. I have to show it to me while we're doing this because this photo got sent to me 3 times. Once by Brianda, once by 2 random fans, and it was the first time I came across your page. Someone said, why are you and Mandii kissing in this photo?
Oh my God, stop it.
And it's Jerrie and her fiance. And I was like, mind you, my hair is dark right now, but this how my hair, if you look at Jerrie, it's red. So
wow.
That's why we kissing in wedding dresses, bitch.
That shit was so fucking
the
funny.
Internet is crazy.
No, let's be very clear. I am, since every light-skinned to light brown-skinned woman with short blonde hair and some ass.
It was too
you
blonde, then the braid. It was literally our whole aesthetic always. Then the second thing was, my partner watches Harlem, so I was like, oh, we're having this girl on that. Before I could say it, he was like, oh, the one to be, and I was like,
men love that.
Wow, what do you know? And he was like, I was like, oh, this is one where she is lady, and then she go downstairs, and she was a daughter too, and she just out here in the show. I mean, she was living player. I was like, ow. Mind you, the only reason he started watching the show, he told me a woman that he dated previously hit him up and said, hey, because I think he told some previous partners, like, I have a girlfriend now, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, you need to watch Harlem because Kofi, like, uses the same language. Like, Kofi, like, talks the talk, walks the walk.
Which I told them, I was like, we need a polyamorous storyline.
Wait, you brought that to the writers?
I was like, yes. I wanted Ty to be poly. But then when I read the script, I was like, oh, okay, this works out.
Ty was just
yeah. Because it also gives Quinn a new thing to battle with. But yeah, when we had after season 2, we had the conversation about like what kind of things you want to see. And there were some things like meeting my family that we just didn't have time to do. But I was like, we need to talk about polyamory. So then they became curious, and I was like, y'all need to read Polysecure. Y'all need to read The Ethical and all of these things. And I was telling them about my experience. And then when I read it, and I was like, okay. And I love that he was ethically non-monogamous. Ethically.
So basically we could blame.
When I found out people were calling my Kofi.
So we could blame Harlem then for him going on the press run talking about his non-monogamy.
Oh, that's right.
Because he did. It was. But maybe, I don't know if he learned it there. I know that we've been seeing it. So let me ask you, because your characters are, I guess, somewhat similar to me between Survival of the Thickest and Harlem.
Boss-ass queer women.
Boss-ass, right.
Uh-huh.
What, is that important for you to play that role? And is there another role you would like to play? Or do you feel like right now you're being pigeonholed into those?
I want to play everything.
Okay.
I can play everything.
Period.
I think this happens to be like, people saw me as Ty, and then they felt like it feels like if you're looking for this kind of person, like, she can do that, right? And I think, but Tracy took a chance. I was fresh out of grad school, and so. And I was doing plays, right? But now it's like people don't know that I'm a stage actor first because they haven't seen that. And so it's really about like who in the industry is willing to take the chance for you to do something different. And where is it like, oh, well, we need somebody who we know can do this thing. So we're going to hire you to do that thing because we know you can do it.
It's crazy.
Sorry. For anyone listening, Mandii and I aren't looking at each other. For being queer, being whatever you identify as, but just fluid. Do you think that it kind of plays up and is a plus for when you're looking for certain roles? Do you think it's a look, or do you think it's actually that you live that lifestyle?
I think it's both. I think so when I talked to Tracy about why I was the first one to be hired for Harlem. And when I talked to Tracy about, she was like, do you know why we hired you? And I was like, no. Apparently, when I came into the room for the producer session, I was flirting with their assistant. But I was so in character.
We got a real gay girl.
You know what I mean? I was so in character that I didn't notice, but they was cute.
They said, hey, a little towing on the line.
You know what I mean? I was giving them, a little bit longer handshakes, like, what's up? You look good, whatever. I'm not even thinking about it. And before I even said the words on the page, Tracy knew, like, this is our Ty. And she thought that Ty would be the hardest person to cast because she didn't see anybody with that same aesthetic out in the industry.
We had the conversation with Tone about his sex scenes, and often you could hear actors talk about their heterosexual sex scenes, right? And then we've heard male actors and their uncomfortability if they're heterosexual in real life and have to play out gay scenes. What is it like for you, and what are the conversations between you and women that may or may not be bisexual or lesbian and having to do gay scenes and kiss? Like, what are those scenes like for you? I know they're comfortable for you, but what is the conversation like with the other person that's in the scene with you?
It's interesting because I have yet to have a sex scene on screen with an actual queer person, queer woman.
Really?
Nobody that I've been intimate with on screen has been queer.
What about when you were watching, did you watch Black Mirror with Issa Rae yet?
Yes.
That made me feel like, wow, you're not gay.
It makes a difference.
Even the white girl was a little more.
It does make a little bit of a difference. And so for me, I always have the conversation of like, hey, like, let me know what makes you feel comfortable. Let me know what doesn't make you feel comfortable. My interest is for this to be as authentic as possible. And so there are things that I would or would not do that, like, sometimes I watch queer sex scenes and I'm like, bro, who did this? What are they doing? You know, I'm like, where the strap at?
Is there a scene we've seen?
Where the strap at?
A scene we've
I haven't
seen where
seen that yet.
Where you can maybe tell us like that you saw that's a popular scene where you're like, this is fake as fuck?
No Sade, but I was watching the New Generation L Word. And I was like, there was a sex scene in there that I was like, huh.
Okay. The L Word made me feel like I got to have so many conversations with myself when I was younger.
Yes, but
and the new one fucked me up.
Yeah.
What about it? And what was the scene?
It was like I think she was going down on her or something, and it just didn't feel right. Like, it was like, I don't know if this necessarily, like, maybe it was too easy or maybe there was no other components.
Right.
It just didn't feel like, you know.
The thing about the L Word that felt real for me were all the hands. Like, there were times where I would say I was having sex with somebody and people would be like, you're not having sex if you're just doing this, or if you're or if you're using your hands. And it would make me feel so invalidated when I was younger because I thought that really was sex for us. The L Word was such a different viewpoint.
Yes.
Just being able to see people call it car sex that had sex in a car with hands.
Yes.
It really changed it for me just with how I presented. Because I would want to do more and be like, oh, well, now I need a strap just to say I fucked.
No.
Is there any scenes currently on TV where a strap has even been shown?
I have advocated for the strap to be hanging up on the bed so many times. They're like, so just tell me like the thought process behind it. The thought is that I used it and that when queer people see it, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, I see what you did there. You know, it's a little bit of a level of recognition, even if you don't have to see me putting it on, all of that, you know.
Just that
I'm
it's
not
in the
always
scene.
bumping coochies, bro.
Right.
And I enjoy that, but I'm not doing that all the time.
Mine
you know
stays in my closet. Does yours stay on your headboard?
No.
Where do you put it?
I have a basket.
Okay, yeah, I have a bag.
Different sizes.
Same. I just showed my boyfriend one that I have, and he was like, it was King Noir's. He was like, now, okay. It was
it can be intimidating.
Oh no, let me tell you, I don't even know if I shared this on a podcast yet. His parents live in Europe. So he just got me a refrigerator for my room because I live upstairs and downstairs, and I'd be tired and lazy and don't want to go downstairs to get water. So he's showing his dad the little refrigerator he bought me.
Not on her fridge,
bro.
baby.
There was a dildo, a wine glass, and condoms on top of the fridge. And he was like, oh, wow, y'all were... And so he had to tell me that his dad saw the fucking dildo on the goddamn motherfucking refrigerator.
You know what's funny? When I was gay, my mom saw everything, girl. It was a little too much. There was a suction cup dildo I had that I would hang necklaces on.
What is gay?
I just have a man now. I be making jokes. When I had a girlfriend, I was gay. Now I'm just half gay. So, no, when I was gay, my mama was... Oh, she was almost so overwhelmed.
You used a dildo to hang necklaces on?
It was just, I had so many at that point. It was just fun. So I stuck one on the wall and the necklace was there. And she came into my house and I remember she said, you guys are balls to the wall with no balls. That's what she said.
That is
and
funny.
I think the questions that she had were so interesting because she wanted to know so much how I wasn't missing anything. Like, my mom knew I was dating women for most of my life, but only her. She was just like, and I could tell my mom would have 3 little vodkas. You sitting there, sap. I'm like, all right. It was very difficult for me to talk about it with her. And I think it's because talking about men with a woman that's straight, it's easy. But like,
oh, I have yet to talk to my mom about being with women, even though I be
so
fucking
weird,
women.
bro.
And what's crazy is my experience with a strap is I've only been strapped once by a woman, my ex-girlfriend when I lived in Miami. And bitch, I do the strapping only on men. So like you know what I mean? So my experience with that is that, and I love that you as an actress who can be so vocal for representation on screen is able to try to at least advocate for these little subtleties of what our life really looks like in real life, but also on the paper. Because I think even when I'm seeing them acting it out, there's ways in which we talk woman to woman that's different than heterosexual relationships as well. So I just love that. I know we talked a lot about Harlem, but what was it like working with Tasha Smith, right?
Yes. Tasha is great.
Tasha is funny, and all of our aunties and been that for our whole lives.
Yes.
How was that?
You know, she came into the room like, well, y'all know, we about to do this here sex scene. And she got her little robe that she, you know what I mean? But then, you know, when we're in the back, she's like, but you're going to have to tell me, right? You know, you're going to have to let me know. And so she went and she got over me. And I'm like, we ain't even get there yet. You know, you pull up the leg, you know, you gotta make sure the puzzle pieces work right so that it looks like, you know, we really going there. And maybe I slide down, you know, so I can get up in there because it's supposed to be like such a beautiful experience for her that she gets so emotionally overwhelmed that she has to leave. And so I'm like, I want also the audience to feel like, oh, I know what happened. You know what I mean? Even if we can't show everything, we have to do a little bit of the nuances.
Because it's her battling with her sexuality, essentially, right? Or not knowing
how... It's her battling with power, really. Like, not wanting to be vulnerable enough to, like, let a person see. You know, when you have that good set, you like, I just want to cry and hug you and keep you and all of this stuff. And I have to go because I don't know where to put these emotions. And so I think it's more about like the emotional arc of Marley always being the one who can put her energetic dick on the table, who can pay for whatever needs to be paid for. And now she's meeting this woman who is not only beautiful and smart and has her own funds, she gonna fuck you good too.
I know that's right. How do you
love a rich beat?
How do you differentiate as a person from the characters you've played?
I feel like maybe both of the characters are lesbian. I don't identify as a lesbian.
Okay.
I'm gender fluid and sexually fluid. You know, I will throw that ass dick. Bitch. Or a real nigga with a big dick. But I think also there is a lack of emotional availability with Ty. Like there is a lot of family trauma there that just doesn't allow her to have the courage enough to go deep. And I'm a person, like, I lay it all out on the table. Like, I want you to know what you're getting into so that you don't say, like, oh, well, I thought, da-da-da.
You don't show up with a representative, basically.
And some bitches want Ty.
Is Ty from New York? Are you from New York?
I'm from Philly.
Okay. Cousin.
Yeah,
right.
You know,
right down the
Ty's
street.
from Georgia. I'm from Philly, but is you know, it's giving that. And the Philly, you know, they give that. And so, but I think also Ty wants that type of like love and connection, but also doesn't know how to get it because she's not living truthfully to her family. And that was a big thing. Like, people in my family know.
Was it easy for you to express, like, being that you're gender fluid, sexually fluid, was that easier to quote unquote come out to your family about?
So my mom, she passed away in 2019. She was ready to go. But my mom was the first hoe I ever met.
Speak on it.
Johnny Mae Cooper. She was before the hot girls were popular.
She was the hot girl. So sad, but I just kind of. Will our children say this about her?
I love that.
Probably.
First off, we say we is hereditary around here. Her mama said that she is a queen at sucking dick, like on our first live show.
Yeah, I
Oh
mean,
no, this is verbatim a conversation. I was in the car with my mom. I might be recorded. And she was like, "How's last night?" And I was like, "He said I was the best he ever had." She literally held my hand, not joking.
Mhm.
Men have told me this my whole life. I knew it would happen to you. I fucking knew it. I knew it. There was just no way. I would look at you sometimes and I would say, "They're gonna go crazy." I just knew.
What did
And
you see in your mom?
she 6'3", always like between like 190 and 230.
Okay.
Ooh,
So she
stallion.
always towered over men. I have 7 brothers and sisters. We all have different dads, except for 2 of us.
Oh,
I've seen my
you saw
mom run a nigga out the house. She be going toe-to-toe with niggas. Okay? Yes. I've seen my mom fight her best friend on a cop car.
what?
They called the cops to come get her ass. She's like, I'm gonna beat your ass up before they take me away. Like, truly, my mom has been on cops twice.
Oh
She
my
was
God.
not
Wait, the television show?
the television show.
Girl, please,
Stop
honey.
I
it.
swear.
I need you to send us the
I
episode.
swear. She was her own, like, and so conversations about sex, and she also was a bartender and she worked at the door.
Are you
at
the
bar.
only queer sibling?
Yes.
Okay.
And so the only out
Not one of your brothers.
no. But she had her schedule was she would wake up at 5 p.m., get herself ready, take her little laxative, okay, go to the bar. She'd be back at like 3 o'clock in the morning. If the house wasn't clean, she'd wake us all up. She was a Virgo.
Ooh.
Even if we had school in the morning, we'd be up cleaning the house until it was time to go to school. Truly, this woman but she'd be talking about sucking dick and all of this with my aunts and stuff. And then my cousins, I love y'all. My sister, they was home.
Would you overhear the conversations, or did she specifically come to you and your siblings with the conversation about the birds
We
and the
weren't
bees?
having birds and the bees conversations. It was like, you just got to sit there and be quiet, and they talking about what they talking about.
Yeah.
But it was no separation.
And
She
we
wasn't
finna
like,
ear hustle.
go upstairs because we're about to talk about adult conversations. No. She and when she got an Instagram page, her Instagram page was Milky with 2 eyes.
Oh.
Okay, and she would post like, the best dick suckers are this, that.
No,
This
you
is when
wanna
I
be
was in
not.
college. Swear
I'm
to
so glad my
God.
mama ain't really
How old
get
are
on
you
Instagram. Like,
I'm 30.
So you were, oh my God. So, okay, I'm 34, so it's me. I'm thinking the same age. I'm just trying to think about my mama
I
posting
would
shit like
die.
You know, my
It
mom
was
will send
crazy.
me IG videos tagging the people. My mom will comment on a bitch's thing like, look, like just crazy
Wait,
sex
no,
shit.
you was in high school and you had to see.
I was so embarrassed. When I was in high school, I was so embarrassed. I never wanted anybody to come to my house because my mom, sometimes she'll only have a bra on. Sometimes she'll take her wig off and put it on her knee and she had a towel on one knee, right? She'd take the wig off, put it on her knee, put the towel if she got too hot on her head. Her hair was cut like mine. She would dye her hair and her vagina hair the same color.
No way.
I seen my mom, yes.
What color?
If it was, she had red
Wait, she
hair,
dyed her
blonde-
coochie hair to match
whatever her hair was.
Yo, shut up.
I swear to God.
Hold on, this Miss Scotty. What is it again?
You said what?
What was her name?
Milky.
No, her first
Johnny May?
Johnny May.
Yes.
Oh, Miss Johnny
Yes.
May. That
Yes.
name feel like some
Yes.
shit.
And and now I see like the audacity that I have comes from my mom. But there was a time where I was like, oh my gosh, like you can't say that in front of people, or you can't. She
I'm
said
more interested
whatever
in this
the
movie
fuck
than
she
any
wanted.
other one. Sinners in this.
Yeah, no, we need
actually-
a movie on your mom. Your mom
Yes.
need to be a character in one of these.
I'd like to
Yes.
ask you about coming out stories because I feel like I have friends that are gay for real.
Mhm.
And a lot of this shit that we see on TV is just like, I'm confused. I don't know. And it's like the same trope. Are you kind of tired of it? Are you kind of tired of feeling like queer storylines have to come with a coming out story? Why is it always a part of the character?
Yes, that's what drew me to Ty, was that it wasn't like, oh my God, like I'm so embarrassed about being gay, or like I have to come out to my friends and like I can't have straight friends because they're gonna think I want it's not that. Or it's like the gay character in the friend group is always questioning and confused and an artist and don't have no money.
Mhm.
It's
Right.
like all of, like if you're confused
I love
about your
they made that character
sexuality, you can't also have like a business or a job. It's like, it also comes with some sort of like aloofness because I don't know if I want men or women or whatever.
Mhm.
I'm just like living my life. And I do think that there is some openness, like when you're an artist, like you're more open to different things, but it's not always that. Like, I feel like sometimes people's parents just know that their kids are gay and they don't actually have to come out. You know what I mean?
What about like even in this moment? Like you do an interview and it's the question. How often do you feel like you're talking about this story over and over to where it kind of like just muddles who you are?
I feel like I come out more as poly than coming out as queer.
Oh, that's the more
Okay.
I
interesting
think
thing to
that's
talk about
the
now.
thing. Like
Right now,
people
yes.
are like, but I mean, when I was in college, I had a boyfriend who was a Leo, and we were
You
watching.
and these signs, girl. My mama, who was a Virgo,
Because
this
it
man who
matters.
was a Leo.
And you
It
said
matters.
Tom was Leo.
Yes, it matters.
What's your sign?
I'm an Aquarius.
Oh, February?
January.
Okay.
Very compatible, right? But we were watching porn and we were watching lesbian porn and I was so turned on. And he was like, you like women. And so we started dating women together. And this was me at 18, 19 years old.
You introduced it because he was comfortable with that? Or did they have to join y'all in the bedroom? Was he able to go out? Like, what was the dynamic at 18, entering a relationship poly with a man with other women? What did that look like?
It was most of the time we had sex with women together, but it wasn't closed to that. Like,
Okay.
as long as he told me, exactly what it was, like I'm a truth person, like I can tell when somebody's lying to me. So as long as you're fully honest with me, I don't care. As long as you're being safe, like it is what it is. But most of the time we were having sex with women together, and then I was like,
How many years did that last?
we were together for like 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Maybe like a soft 5.
So you're
Come on,
learning
Sophie.
together.
Yes. And it was such a like deep understanding there that I felt safe enough to like do what I needed. There wasn't any judgment. And he was curious about it too. Like he wanted me to talk about it with him. And then
Wow. Was he older or same age?
he was the same age.
Wow.
What about that
That's
relationship
incredible.
brought around the biggest lesson? Because now we know so much about open relationships, but what about that particular relationship kind of taught you something that you even use today?
Was that it's possible. Like I have like been with monogamous people who like wanted to try poly with me. I've dated people who are like, you're just poly because you want this, and this, and you want to have, and if
You
I
wanna
want
have your cake and eat it too,
right?
type
It's
shit.
like, okay, sure, but also like talking about astrology, like truly is in my chart. Like multiple partnerships is like in my chart. And so for to do that with him where it was safe, where he was kind of like, sometimes he was my wingman. Like he knew that I didn't know if women would be attracted to me, right? Back in
What?
I know.
Bitch.
I know. I'm like, I am a siren, but I know how to siren for men.
Can you
Like,
talk
I know-
about what a siren is for people who don't know?
It's like
Little Mermaid. No, I'm just
kind of.
Technically.
But I was just in San Diego, and my friend Lamar is like, Jerry, you have a siren song. It's like this silent thing that you do that just draws people to you. And I know that siren works for men.
But how do you know the difference between your siren energy versus just having
Your
a great
extroverted
aura,
energy.
being somebody that people want to be around? How do you know it's that?
Because
You can see it, but I'm just asking.
So I was on the plane coming back from San Diego, and I'm like in my headphones, and this man stops, and he's like, oh my God, I am gay, but I want to be with you. I didn't say nothing to him. I didn't do it. I didn't even look at him. But there is something about me that calls people in. And a lot of times it's like, it is a big responsibility because it can be used in a lot of different ways. And I'm a deep empath, and I care for people. I care about people's feelings. I care about people's well-being. And I have a hyper sensitivity to being used and using people, which sometimes is like this double-edged sword because then there are things that I might not accept because I don't want to deal with the whatever might come with the thing that is being offered to me. And so because of that, I'm really aware of people's feelings and how I come off to people. But that situation, I wasn't even like, I'm kind of drunk off these beers I had. You know what I mean? I'm not thinking about nothing. And this man just like, and so for me, it's an intuitive thing, but it's also this thing that happens without like, I'm not putting it on, right? It's not just like, oh my God, you're a nice person to be around. No, you have impacted my life and I'm going to be thinking about you forever.
When did you start getting comfortable then with realizing that same power worked for women?
Through my relationship with him. I was like, I started to like really see like, oh, he's right. Like women do like me and find me attractive, right? But then when I moved to San Francisco,
I was that's all you had to say. Oh, you were in the Bay.
The Bay Area, I mean, they were talking about all this shit before anybody was.
No, they were.
When it was not popular, it was like, hello, my name is, and my pronouns are this. Yes, I'm a poly, non-monogamous, blah, blah, blah.
All in the Bay, yeah.
It's just, and so to live in the Bay for 4 years while I was in grad school really opened me up. And so I remember telling my friend, like, I want to be a hoe. And he was like, bitch, you too nice. You can't be a hoe.
You said you want to be a hoe?
Wait, a hoe has to be mean?
But
I've been the nicest girl.
Right. Not that, but this is what he said. He said, it's like, I can't, I was a little back-footed.
You saying, friend, I want to be a hoe. What did that look like to you? Because we've had that debate till as long as time, like since we had Horrible Decisions. But what's a hoe to you? What did a hoe mean to you?
That meant any sexual instinct or impulse that I had in any moment, I was going to follow through with.
Oh.
Do you think you've had phases of your life where even in the pursuit of hoedom, you felt a little guilty?
No.
Never felt shame? It never happened?
Well, yes. Because what I realized that then through that relationship that I had for 4 years, although it was so open in terms of being with women, I was his Barbie. Like, I was his princess. Like, I was the girl who hadn't had sex with a lot of people, and I was like only his. So then so for me, for women, like, I'm like, I feel the freedom there. But when I would have sex with men, I remember this one guy, I had sex with him, and then afterwards I was like, oh my God, why did I do? Like, I was so hard on myself.
What made you? Do you know what triggered that reaction?
It was the shame of like what happens when you've been with X amount of men, or what does it mean to be with a man, or like what the things that can happen when you are with men. Like, a lot of that started to come up. And so then when I was like, I want to be a hoe, which is really just like me living in my truth and my freedom, I had to dismantle all of the ideas I had about what it would look like for me or who it would make me to have sex freely with men.
Oh, wow.
And I tell you, I remember being at this meeting with this girl at this bar, and this man was just giving me these blueberry drinks. And so I'm looking at him, and I'm like, oh, I'm about to fuck this bartender. Now, mind you, the bar is kind of like an afternoon in the Bay, not that many people. And so...
Not it being 4 p.m.
Right,
you like,
child,
I'm not looking off the blueberry drink.
But he just kept talking. The way he was saying blueberry to me, I was like, he trying to fuck.
Blueberries.
Blueberries, you said he want to give me that dick.
He wanted. So then I was like, can you tell me where the bathroom is? And so he was like, oh, it's downstairs on this side. So then I'm in the bathroom. I'm like, okay, how can I get this nigga down here so we can fuck right now? In the middle of this meeting, this girl didn't even know. So then I was like,
this is whole shit.
I said,
I'm judging, bitch. Keep going.
I don't care. I said, sorry, there's no tissue down there. He said, oh, really? Let me come show you. Then we went down there and we fucked in the freezer, bitch.
Bitch, you are a motherfucking
Yes, we did. And and then I went back upstairs and had the meeting.
I live for this.
Period. I said, oh, okay.
This is freedom.
Jerry, when is your book coming out? I need the whole Hold'em, your entire 20s written into a motherfucking erotica, bitch.
Add me a fucking chapter in that, bitch.
You know what I really am curious about? Being someone that is, I would even say lesbian presented just on your page, your girl, the shows we're seeing you in. Now, when you have sex with men, do you find that they're almost a little insecure? Do they have this conquering attitude? Do you enjoy that? What is it about the male dynamic sexually that kind of gets you?
I think men are so infatuated with me. They're so curious about me. But what I find is when I'm just trying to fuck a nigga, they want so much more. And I have friends who want that.
They hate it.
And it's like, oh no, well, let's do this first and this first and this first. I'm like, I'm trying to get some. You want to do, but
reverse psychology, ladies. If you treat a man like a piece of motherfucking meat, he will literally pour his soul out of insecurities. Like, that's all you want? You only want me for my dick?
This is what I learned.
Bro, they will literally be like, but I have more for you.
Yes, at the time, also offering everything. But I find, so I feel like sometimes like either American men want to play like this sort of like game, this game of cat and mouse, or it's like the Caribbean or the African American men who are like, you need to be my wife.
Mm-hmm.
But then I went to Europe.
Oh, shit.
I was fucking.
Oh, shit.
I was fucking at.
They're a little bit more conservative.
The European niggas or the Europeans?
I don't know what you talking about. I didn't even know that's what I went to Europe to do. You know, I was just trying to mind my business.
We think it's all pasta and boats.
No, I was trying to be a hoe.
Y'all want to get them Hungarian men, okay?
They hungry for the pussy.
Whoo,
okay.
Hungarian. Do you understand? And they felt a little bit more like, oh, we can have our intimate moments and that just be it. Like, you not calling my phone a million times.
But you know what? Euro, like, like my encounters, I have always been the little Euro travel girl. And I will tell you, they're just more passionate people where we have more of a tie to, like, intimacy and chemistry. Like, I've had conversations with friends about kissing and how, you know, maybe one of my homegirls like, oh, I don't know. I kind of want to just get some dick. I don't know. I feel like I might need to like this nigga. Bro, I could be in love with a nigga in an hour in Italy.
Yes! In Berlin, I was at Berghain, y'all.
Oh my God, are you that kind of girl?
Yes.
You go to basement?
Did I go to I went to the Kit Kat Club.
Here?
No, I don't know about the stuff here. I would love to, though. Well, so afterwards, we should talk about it. But I was at, and it was like the tension between, it was like we knew that we were gonna do this thing, but we also didn't know. And it felt like more of a vamping up to the act, as opposed to transaction, which I think like sometimes in America, it can be about the transaction. Like I'm a very passionate person. I feel like my erotic is attached to and connected to my creativity. And so like I like sex to be creative.
Not you gotta fuck to get this roll off.
Bruh. Listen.
I feel like my eroticness is attached. I don't know if I can perform if you don't creative in my art.
Not that it's contingent upon it, but I do think that sex is a creative act for me.
Yes.
That like, I'm not just like gonna be like, oh yeah, let's get this. It's gonna be incredible. Like you really, like they said on hotels, you gonna remember this pussy. You understand?
Right.
But I like that type of passion, and I feel like in Europe, it just felt more like they were down to have that like, that rendezvous for a night that's really passionate and sweet and sexy, and it doesn't feel like exploitative.
We have weirdness with intimacy. Think about even children, nudity, nude beaches, sexuality.
American, yeah.
We have such.
When you were in high school and you said like, I got a condom, people were like, oh my God, why do you have a condom? You know, but in Europe, like it's like people, you would have to carry it. It was almost like shame because you having a condom meant that you were promiscuous, but it's like, but if I have sex and I don't have this condom, but that's the American conditioning as opposed to in Europe, it's like, people are having sex. More people in America lose their virginity in cars than anywhere else. Because where else are you gonna go if you don't talk about sex with your family and sex is so taboo?
You right. You're not having it in the house.
You're not having it in your house.
You asked Jeeves that? That is crazy.
mean, actually, my mama was at work. I was braiding this nigga hair. It was at the house.
Period.
But I, it was a little.
I think I do remember your
I was also a women's studies major in college, and we talked about this kind of stuff. We talked about how it's like even just like the weird shit that be going on in America. It's like because we're having conversations, because parents in Europe are like, oh, okay, is Cindy coming over? Okay, you guys can go upstairs. We'll leave you alone. And so then it's a safer experience because everybody knows what's going on. We're not sneaking. If something happens, there are witnesses to know like,
Also, just being that in the Western world, we're based off Christian views. And so we even just went through it on an episode. We talked about the history of sexual norms through age. And it's really interesting to know that a lot of our views now actually stem from the feminist movement and us getting our autonomy back and really letting these niggas know they weird out here.
I don't want to talk.
They're
I
fucking
lied.
weird. I do want to get into our reactionary because I want to talk about your relationship just a little bit. I'm going to play this clip and then we'll go from there. I want to know if you agree or disagree.
At the age of 54 and 2 divorces later, let me give you the marriage advice I wish that I had listened to. Love is not enough. Marry for character, not just chemistry. You're not just marrying them, you're marrying their habits, their debt, and their family drama. Marriage will never fix loneliness. The wrong person will make it worse. You can't marry potential. You're not a life coach. You're a spouse. Being alone is way better than wishing you were. The right person will make you feel safe. The wrong one will make you feel small. We'll figure it out is not a financial plan. Some people don't want love. They want control. Learn the difference. You should be excited to marry them, not just relieved that they finally committed. Be prepared to marry the whole family. Period. Hope that helps.
What that nigga mama do to her?
Did you agree with her sentiments? And then the follow-up would be, what lets you know that your fiance was the one?
I agree. I think I was dating my fiance, and I was also dating somebody else. And
the other person met, they ain't get the ring?
No, right. No. And we had it was a great thing going. They planned my 28th birthday together. It was
dope.
Hold on, wait. The other woman and your fiance.
Yeah, she wasn't my fiance at the time, but yes,
Were you
my
guys
my
all dating
girlfriends
together?
I was dating both of them. They were not dating.
Okay.
But my girlfriends at the time planned my birthday. You know, I'm a person where I'm like, everybody got to meet everybody. So that you're not asking me, well, I think sometimes like the mystery of like who this other person is more daunting than the reality of like what this
Once
could be.
you meet them,
and I don't like to amplify or throw salt on anybody's like insecurities. Like, let's just all know what's going on.
Yeah.
And y'all have each other's number. Y'all want to compare notes with each other. Y'all can do what y'all want to do. You know what I mean? So that I am not the centerpiece of this thing. And then the relationship with that person didn't work out. And then I was like, oh, okay. And I think the relationship with my fiance at the time kind of got a little it was a little interesting. I didn't feel like, I felt like we were like butting up against each other. And I couldn't understand that because we just like had fun together.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, I don't think that this is working for me. So I kind of just like took a moment. And then I was, I'm not even gonna say that. Anyway, I started getting these messages that I needed to like reconnect with her. Like that this is my person. But when I met her,
messages, what do you mean messages?
Yes, like I would be on a plane and I'm behind this couple and we're having a good time. I'm like, what's y'all signs? Because I am into signs. And it's like an Aquarius and a Libra, and that's our signs. Or it's like 666. That means that like you're going to rekindle with an old flame. Or me getting a reading months ahead saying whoever you're going to be with on this date is going to be the person that you're going to be with. Happens so like, at 12 a.m. on that day, I went to a concert that she also was at, and then we decided to get dinner together so that
wow.
It was just like all of these things. And so I was like, hey, like I'm coming back I had gone to the Dominican Republic, twisted my ankle, and I was like, I'm coming back to New York. I would love to like talk to you. And so she was like, okay. So we sat down and we had a conversation. And the thing that she said is like, I want to be best friends this time. Like, no matter what we do, like, I want to be friends. And I was like, oh, okay.
Did you believe that was possible to go from a romantic relationship to just a platonic one?
Well, it didn't mean platonic, right?
I don't think she wanted it platonic,
Just
but
saying have the
she
friendship.
wanted the friendship to be the most important thing.
Okay.
Because I think sometimes we miss our partners, we miss connections, we miss communication when we aren't friends. It's like, that's not your friend, and so you don't even understand me on a baseline because I'm not your friend, I'm just your partner. And so for us, she was like, okay. I said, I'm down with that. And we've literally been inseparable ever since. That is truly my best friend. Wherever I'm at, I'm like, I want to share information with her. I'm like going to events that I don't really want to go to because she's going to be there. And we live together. Like, but I just love hanging out with her. I can talk to her all night. We can like go on these walks where we don't know where the hell we going and we just laughing and joking. And there's been like some moments where it's been difficult to like figure out like, okay, how do we, because a lot of our pain pressure points were the same. And so it was like we would be at these standstills. And it's like, okay, why are we don't, like, we'll have like every 3 months, we'll have like one big argument. And it's like, what is this? And so we started going to therapy and all of that to like truly get to understanding. But it'll be like,
you was doing
fine.
the work.
How many years have you been dating her?
3 years.
Did you feel like therapy early on, or just let's just say a year and a half is too early?
I don't think therapy is, I think if you feel like, I think a relationship is an investment. It's an investment of time. It's an investment of money. And so you're not just gonna invest in a stock that you don't know nothing about, right? Or invest in a stock that you might get some opinions from other people and all of that, right? And I think that relationships are the same. And so sometimes you just need to be witnessed. It's not about like...
Because people would say, the argument on the other side is, well, if you're thinking about therapy so early, this can't be good. And really what I'm hearing from you is like, okay, we're going good. This is happening. Let's fix it.
Yeah, it's like
not letting
the one thing be the thing that like we can't see eye to eye on. And it wasn't, I mean, we had gone maybe 2 years at first of just like trying to figure it out ourselves. And we realized like, oh, we need somebody to see what's happening and to say, oh, Drea, that's actually just this trauma. Jerry, you need to be more considerate about this or this. And that shift for me, because I'm an intellectual, the shift for me of that is like, oh, I can do that. I don't mind making concessions, but it has to make sense to me.
But sometimes we also just don't have the right tools to figure it out. Like from either not seeing healthy relationships, or not even being able sometimes to hold up the mirror and get ourselves out of our own way sometimes.
Right.
And so I'm glad that you guys chose to do that. So after therapy and being together, what was the aha, I gotta put a ring on it?
I actually put a ring on it before we were going to therapy, but I did shrooms in Tulum, and I was on the
all
beach.
of our stories.
Shrooms in Tulum.
And I was like walking down the beach, and that's like,
did you even have the ring?
No. Oh, we did go. We found this ring upstairs at this vintage shop, and we bought this ring. But it wasn't like, it was like, in case it happens, like we didn't want to pass up on the opportunity of getting this ring. It was a beautiful ring, and we both loved it.
Hold
it fit
on.
on her finger perfectly.
What?
Yeah.
This ring, you didn't buy it in a vintage shop in Tulum because I ain't never seen one.
No.
You bought it in New York.
Upstate.
Okay. You buy this ring at a vintage shop
that fits on her ring finger perfectly.
Just in case we get married. Who holds it?
Not just in case we didn't even talk about it. Like we just kind of, like she tried the ring on her ring finger and then I bought it and then I had it. Like we didn't talk about it, which was interesting because we talk about everything. Yes. And then I would do this funny thing when she would say something smart. I mean, we just do stuff with each other. But when she would say something smart or something, I would do this because the ring was in this pocket. You better watch out, girl. You know?
Bro.
And she would just crack up.
That's what this little energy is what makes me feel like, my man and I have been dating 2 years and we just talk very deeply about exactly what we want. Marriage, planning, whatever. So I feel like when women get to that stage, sometimes you're like, oh, when, right? Sometimes I be doing shit where I be fucking up. Like, let's just say my birth control make me act crazy. He be looking at me like, and you think I can't go back out there, bitch.
Yeah.
We were right on the line, huh?
Yes.
And it's scary because when you are in these moments, you just made me think something about therapy. We were having a conversation the other day where he was like, sometimes I wish you could hear yourself from someone else's
because we don't see it with when our partner says it, it's like, absolutely not. No. And it's like, no, you need somebody else to hear you and let them tell you because you're not going to hear it from me.
Absolutely.
And it's also like with all of our endorphins and the love thing. And it's like, I want to seem perfect to you. Mm-hmm. So when you give me these notes or this feedback that I can't see, it's hard to contend with from your partner, right? It's hard to be seen in that way. And so it is nice to be witnessed.
Were most of your arguments surrounding open relationship things?
No, we had a few of it was a sticky situation, because she felt like I get why you're, ethically non-monogamous. It makes sense on paper and it makes sense why I could be. I just am contending with like, am I or not?
Did you give her?
I gave her my worksheet, my ethical non-monogamy framework worksheet.
Y'all, no, this is why. Hey, y'all, she has it in a Google Doc.
I do.
In the Google Drive on her phone.
Yes.
I would love, could you pull up?
Yes.
The ethical non-monogamy contract.
Yes.
And if we could go through the points, and mind you, real quick, this is something that when you meet a partner, you give to them on the first date.
Well, when it's getting there, because what I found was I was going on dates with women who had so many preconceived notions about polyamory that I was saying the same thing on a cycle. I'm like, why am I keep like proving this, or like I'm like handing out the facts or something? So when you got questions about it, if you say, well, I think people who are poly are this, and I think that, here goes my ethical non-monogamy framework worksheet. Here is why I am poly. And this is my Virgo moon and Virgo rising. Here's why I am poly. If you can get down with this, we can do this. But you know the baseline of what you're coming into. So there's no assumptions or preconceived notions or any of that.
What is September Virgo, what day?
No, I'm not a Virgo. I'm a Virgo moon and rising.
Oh my God.
That's right, Aquarius.
Fools, y'all already know.
Because bitch, I need to know.
It's okay.
So what is your framework? What does it read on that document?
So it says why. It says Jerry's CNM ENM poly framework. It says, as an intellectual processor, it's helpful for me to write things out, to process, understand, and express my ideas and feelings. The first one, why? Firstly, I like to start by saying that I am polyamorous by orientation, meaning that it is directly correlated with who I am and how I move through the world. It is also connected to my need to decolonize my body, thoughts, and ways of being. For me, ethical non-monogamy or polyamory is directly dismantling the patriarchy. Queerness and white supremacy are direct opposites in how they function in my life. This supports my desire for expansion in this lifetime. Having multiple intimate, romantic, and loving relationships helps me to sharpen my communication skills, learn and address where my blind spots are, and pushes my capacity for compassion, empathy, and love. Love in many forms is the perfect definition. For me, love is abundant in my life and in conjunction and conversation with the universe. My being non-monogamous is a continuing conversation with myself, how I spread love in intimate relationships, and the freedom that comes without the confines of Western ideals of monogamy and heteronormativity. Also, the word intimate is multifaceted because it is not limited to sex. I think sex is just a minuscule part of intimacy. And because people limit intimacy to those that are sexually involved with, it stunts the expansion of how we can connect and express ourselves as humans. I just want to feel free in my expression of love outside of any binary, including the ones we've learned, because all of this is what we learned, about how we should exist in relationships. I also know that how I show up in the world, in all of my identities, with that elevated expression of love is a radical act. It is what I call liberation.
Honey, if that wasn't a theater kid right there.
I ain't gonna hold you. Eden, I'm gonna need the transcript for this episode so I can copy and paste. Gonna need that for me. So have you ever given this worksheet to someone and they've been like, oh yeah, this isn't for me?
No, people want to be with me.
You know why it would be a no for me?
Why?
Because there's a lot of discussion about the act of love needing to be spread. Decolonization to me of the body sometimes is sexual freedom, not necessarily love. And I think I would probably have issues with jealousy knowing that more love needed to be shared.
But
Unless that
also
love
me loving somebody.
And I'm ethically non-monogamous, by the way. My partner and I date other people and together. But the love aspect makes me sometimes, and again, just boundary for me, feel like I'm putting myself at risk.
Right, because there's also, I think polyamory is an umbrella, right?
It is,
And so you are in an open relationship, right? And in open relationships, different partners might need different things, right? And usually sometimes, like the olive conversation, there's a person who is like, well, I can't just have sex all willy-nilly. I need to know somebody. I need to know that I like them.
Yep.
And then there's a person who's like, well, I'm just trying to fuck. And sometimes the two of them might judge the other one for the other thing, right? But it's like, this is what I need. I can't just have sex with a stranger. Or I don't want to talk about my feelings with a person that that's outside of my partner.
Worksheet and under what you like, can you say I love you to someone else while also saying I love you to your fiance?
Yeah, I feel like I loved my fiance and I loved the partner that I was with at the time. Now, you know, I think there is a little more nuance to it, right? Somebody wrote on TikTok, well, how are you getting married if you're polyamorous, right? It's like my partner is my best friend. She is the person that I want to share resources with. She is the person that I want to carry my child. She's the person that I want to start a family with, right? So everybody coming in will know that my partner is my primary partner. And so whereas maybe before her, I was open to having nobody be the primary, right? Maybe having a kitchen table thing. But for her, for what I know, right, which is interesting.
That's what it's called, the kitchen table. I just learned about the kitchen table.
But y'all, let me say something real quick.
Uh-oh.
Niggas who be talking about kitchen table, but don't do the work.
This is my Neo combo.
Y'all need to quit it because it.
Look what's in my notes. Kitchen table poly. It just got added in here February 22nd of this year. I went to a freaking party and literally they handed out.
It's a way for men to shirk responsibility.
What do you mean by that?
It's like if I say that this is kitchen table, then I don't actually have to deal with the real problems at hand. My sister is currently dating somebody, sorry, I'm gonna tell your business for a little bit, who was not poly, right?
Okay. But your sister was not poly.
No, my sister is not poly, but now is in a poly situation.
Okay.
And they were not poly to begin with, right? But now, all of a sudden, a year and a half in, he said he poly, and now it's this girl that had been dealing with from before, who maybe they broke up or maybe they didn't. But he tells her that it's kitchen table, and so then when
learned it like me.
When she's like, well, you said the things between us wouldn't change. Well, it's kitchen table, so we gotta share. No. Kitchen table is us coming to the table together, discussing things. They don't ever come to the table together to discuss anything. We don't have a relationship where we can have a relationship, but also you don't have to, when she gives him feedback, it becomes about her not being poly and not about the fact that he didn't do what he promised to do.
That's the problem with men having these ultimatums. So
and if she can't suck a dick, you not poly.
Well, it does say kitchen table poly describes a style of polyamory where all partners in the polycule, which is why he's just misusing the word wrong, are on friendly terms, socialize together regularly, and may even share meals or living spaces. But it emphasizes a strong sense of community and a we're in this together attitude, where the relationships between all partners are prioritized and considered. So he's misusing the word, which I think is what we're seeing.
We chose it together.
I think people are misusing the word polyamory too, because these niggas are polygamous. No shade, but it is what it is. Because if the women can't go and have relationships with other women or other men, then you
Can I ask you why, as us knowing E&M being under an umbrella, and that polyamory has all of these different like ways in which we set up, why are we shading polygamy when it's one of the ways under the umbrella? Is it because it's the men that are being the polygamists?
There is no shade to polygamy.
Okay.
No shade at all. But
polygamy is also the intent to marriage. But when people are polygamists, they're dating, they're choosing women, financial game, family structure, socioeconomic again. That's polygamy with the intent to marry. What happens with these situations, that's why I kept, so if you don't listen to our town hall, Mandii was saying, I'm surprised you had this opinion of Neo's girlfriends when we don't want to shame anybody.
It wasn't on Neo's girlfriend specifically. It was the views on specifically a woman in a polyamorous situationship wanting to be with him alone.
Right. So my opinion is that I believe these women probably want to be with him alone and they're accepting. The reason I'm coming to that is because, one, kind of like what you said about your sister, we see a certain dynamic, we hear about infidelity, whatever, boom, now I have 4 girlfriends. The other layer was that interview of when he said, this is what it is. They don't like it, they can go. I don't hear anybody doing anything ethical or consensual with that attitude. If we're going to come to the table together, if we're going to be in this relationship together, that hers is not that.
Her contract is, no, it's literally, this is who I am, this is what I want, this is how I see.
Pitting your girlfriends together and not...
What I'm saying is, it's consensual to know what relationship you're getting into.
Telling me what I need to do is coercion and manipulation. It's not necessarily consent.
Well, it's consent.
But we're wrapping honesty in manipulation.
I don't
agree with that. That's what her sister's man is doing.
Right, because they were together and he brought someone in. I'm saying out the gate, if you're saying this is what it is, there's no manipulation in someone accepting what it is. Yes, in this scenario where a woman who may or may not have been broken up or was a part of it is one thing. If he's saying out the gate, these women were given what I'm willing to do, how I'm willing to run my house, my kids are here, they're going to have to partake in that.
How much we going to bet? One of them going to have we got an IG live coming, 12 months or less. I'm telling you, when people just decide to jump onto something that's a fad, caring for these women, the feelings, the conversations, making everyone feel valued.
Which I wish they had. This is my issue, is that there's not more people when they're in these interviews asking them those questions.
Because they don't know, because they're judging as monogamous.
Right.
I guess I'm not a monogamous person, but I'm judging based on his answer. And to me, when I talk about coercion and manipulation, it's generally man with money. You can't fuck another nigga. I'm gonna fuck these girls. Hey, these are my girlfriends. Hope y'all bitches get along. Kind of vibe to it. Instead of, as we learn more conversation about ethical non-monogamy or not, it doesn't sound like that. Even the thing you just said about, is it poly if she can't suck a dick? A lot of this is control. That's not poly. That's not openness.
But I also believe in poly and within ethical non-monogamy that everything is customizable. And it's not about just everyone being free to go out and suck dick, eat coochie, sit on dicks, whatever they want.
For him.
No, but again, it's a conversation. I was very adamant that me and my partner, my ex, could fuck women together. I didn't want him fucking bitches outside of me, which is why, yes, he betrayed my trust and cheated on me. But he also was not comfortable with me fucking other niggas. I didn't feel controlled. I didn't need it. But to me, ethical non-monogamy looks different for everybody. I don't think it's controlling because, hey, this doesn't work for me. If you want to go and have a poly relationship with someone else that's going to allow you or be okay or can take it for you sucking dick, go be with that person, but that doesn't work for me.
Deep.
Clearly, I'm like, damn. But I think ultimately what I want to say is that consent is the biggest part.
Yes, I agree.
Long as we are all consenting. I do, because I've heard stories of another person with a lot of money who uses control to be with multiple women, right? Like, I do also understand where you're coming from, because we do need to be having the conversation about like money playing a part in like how people are relating or what people would put up with or not put up with. But I do think like we can see that all of the women were together, so we know that they're all consenting. So my hope is that they're happy and they're fulfilled, and when they want to talk about it and tell us, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever, or actually I was upset, then I can make the judgment on like what that was.
And that would hopefully be the story, right? Because honestly, that would be the greatest thing for ethical non-monogamy.
Yes. So for somebody to be like, wow, I was treated so well. And then I had these women who I loved, who I could be with all the time. And we all loved the same man.
Live casting.
Can I get a contract?
Live casting. Can I get a polyamorous couple with 2 women, 1 man, combined income under $200,000? That I think takes away. I would want to know 2 women who are happily with a man where the combined income between the 3 of you.
Girl, you ain't watched TLC.
I had
Baby, you know that black man with the 4 big white girls.
It's
Oh
not
no, I
all
thought you
about
talking about that white woman with the black woman with the 2 men.
Yes, I've seen them online. I would love to be able to talk to it because I hate where we have to just keep bringing up the money. I would love to speak about 2 women who are agreeing to be in a relationship that's poly, that don't care or wouldn't be happier if they were the only ones that could genuinely come in and explain and express ethical non-monogamy and why it works for them without the money being the factor.
Because
please email me, DM me, decisionspod@gmail. We'll get you on Horrible. We might bring you here.
We need to have Jerry come back because we got a rap for somebody else walking in. And I know y'all like, damn, it just got hot.
But I just want to say that it's also indigenous, like the sharing of resources, and so
Community.
I'm happy to see like more people are talking about it. I just am excited about more women talking about it.
Yeah, we bet you are with your whole ass, Blueberry.
No, because we get a lot of the male perspective on it. And I think also people have so many ideas about it, but monogamy is the younger sister.
You know what?
You know what I mean?
So in alignment with us, hold this. Thank you. Mandii, close us out while she holding this book that just fits so perfectly.
With her life? No. I need a book now by you, Jerry.
Not for real.
People are asking for the book.
No. And I got a good writer for you if you want to write one.
Yes, I do.
I got a writer for you. No Holds Barred, a dual manifesto of sexual exploration and power. Get it now wherever you get your book. Available June 24th. Also, get onto our Patreon, patreon.com/horrible decisions.
Bye, y'all.
Jerry, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
So glad we finally got this to happen.
I know.
This has been another episode of Decisions. If you are a patron member, that's right, go on over to patreon.com/horrible decisions. That's where you can get all of the X-rated, raunchy discussions about sex. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Horrible Decisions. And we taking it back.
Go closer, Mom.
We is taking it back real back.
Mandii
That's
just
right.
asked me if I wanted to start the show. She has never asked me that.
I mean, your mama right here, so...
Well, welcome back to Horrible, Mom.
And it's so crazy. Before you got here, I was telling her, I was like, when was the last time you've been on the show? And she was like, in the beginning. And she was like, I think in the first 2 years, that's it.
Yeah,
she's definitely been at the live shows.
But I remember the street. I remember.
No.
Yeah, the old studio that we used to record out of, Waterbury, and then 3 blocks over. It was, so she literally is like, you guys used to record over here in Brooklyn, right? And I was like, how the fuck do you remember that?
That was the beginning.
I'm like,
I don't remember
but it
a
was
lot,
literally this street and then 3 blocks down, like 3 blocks down.
So, and you know, it's crazy because now the way that we record is so different. We used to do the table. Even the style of podcasting changed.
We doing the table in Atlanta, and the people liking it.
I like the table.
I like the table. I like kind of giving a little
more comfort.
And I like to sing, like it's different. Like I know, like I don't know. I just feel like, ooh, we're podcasting. Like this feels like
you feel more like
TV
it's a
show.
studio.
Like we're in a living room. Like I think that specifically Black podcasts like have upped the ante, and it looks all so good. But kind of sitting at the table was like, bitch, we back at the table. We back at the table.
So we, my mom's in town, and well, I guess we'll get that tea at another episode to meet my boyfriend's parents and hang out. But our book is out, and yesterday I came home. Me and my mom and Akeem were going to eat. She goes, "You don't have to call me Weezy, by the way, Mom. My name is out." She goes, "Keela," and she's crying. I don't want to get upset, but I found it. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about, and because I wasn't hiding the book,
right?
And I
just don't go through her stuff. So.
I can't believe you guys did this. I was like, "How far did you get?" I read it. I'm like,
"You read the whole book?"
Girl, no, she didn't read no damn book.
I
think she got the intro. Rihanna's the first friend that read it the whole way through. Most friends, I don't know if you did the same. I would send a chapter of the book to a friend here and there. So when Brianda had it in her hands, she read it as it was supposed to. And
Britt and Cuddy were the only two friends, and they read through both of our chapters, but before we got it edited.
Like, yeah, I was just in pieces. So when she was reading it, she goes, oh my God. In Mandi's chapter, she talks about going to your house and seeing this girl has a big house and a movie theater. Then you go to your chapter and talk about pawn shops and losing money and having money and loss. And she said, and you see this big difference in how we view life, how we view things, and how you don't really think about what's going on the other side. She's like, just imagine, this is small scale. How many rich people do we see that are miserable or that you think are rich and they're about to lose?
I thought we were going to be forever. I was throwing $50,000 parties for you.
I would come to your house and it would just be me coming over and you'd have a whole charcuterie set up in the kitchen for us. To me it was different. Like the only time any of my family ever did anything like that was for birthday parties.
No.
But I feel like I would just come over and you'd be so excited to get to host.
I love to get
and it was.
I remember that too. It was like coming home and hors d'oeuvres. Which is such a rich kid thing to say.
It is. And and I guess it was also different.
I don't see it like that. Neither did Brooke DeVard.
Nah, it was, I guess it was different for me too because I had a single parent household, 2 sisters. So even though I had a 3-bedroom house, 2 of my sisters shared a room. I had a room because I was the oldest. My mom had her room. Weezy, you're an only child. So even though I think you guys had a 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom,
a media room.
The media room was like the movie theater.
Yeah, that's a movie theater.
We literally would watch Sex in the City, but like when I say movie theater, y'all, like
we had
the chairs. You had the movie theater chairs
before they came
in the goddamn house.
I forgot about those chairs,
bro. It was a movie theater in the house.
The couple before it became the thing to do.
It was basically a recliner, but the way my mom set it up, it was a movie theater. It really was a movie theater room. It was so cute.
It was a movie theater room, and then just how your house was set up at night. You had a fucking fountain in the front,
that was so extra.
Like so to me,
it was not extra.
Like to me, when I draw the contrast, I was over on Oak Ridge, Pine Hills, like the areas that I lived in. Being able to come to your house and you be the mom that, and my mom wasn't that way. So I really enjoyed the contrast of what I perceived the 2 lives.
When you watch Mean Girls, because sometimes I watch it now, and the way